Okay, I wasn't gonna do this stuff, but this was posted at Yahoo. That's what these people pay anyhow, involved in it, and it's right on the front page. Something here I see about the Tom Hanks' daughter recalled childhood filled with disturbing violence, and you click on this link here. Anyhow, I saw the stuff here. Trump tariff crush market, Dow drops 600. This shit will go on for 2 weeks, people. You heard me? All this stuff already was negotiated during MK Ultra. Illuminati's already negotiated, talking about the U.S. government. American economists predicted it will be bad for first 2 weeks. Then the graph will rapidly repair itself. It's not Donald Trump that's making difference. It's not Biden that make any difference, or Bush, or for anyone for that matter. It's always a deep state that regulates. Not only the US elections, where you go for your votes to be counted, that's all. But foremost, what you see right there, which is Dow Jones Industrial, S&P, Nasdaq, that's a deep state regulated business. More than anything in the United States of America, that's it. Artificially so indeed. It's one of the reasons why I got really angry with the US. Very angry about that stuff. I lost a lot of money on the stocks, on the stock market, because of stupid stuff that deep state does, allows to be done through the Chapter 11, etc., all kinds of stuff they do. Chapter 11 is equivalent to American president is immunity. You know about American president immunity? He can order people to be tortured, talking about Americans, and even killed, and still claim immunity, equivalent to the royalty business. Let's go straight to this business here. This is what they claimed it's going to be the case. Other people claimed Donald Trump will be finished within 3 months. During MK Ultra appeared more people stepped on the side of Donald Trump. Rapid graph grow. Benefits for Donald Trump after like 2 weeks of going down, steep up. So what they are doing is they're making people, investors, sell, and then what they will do, they will purchase. That's what you voted for, a scam. That's what Trump is. No, sorry, they're all about scam. They're all scam, I should say. But Trump is all about the scam. Tom Hanks' daughter recalled a childhood filled with disturbing violence. This is the one I clicked on. Then I did Google this stuff a little bit to see who this girl is. Remind myself more of her. Obviously, it's a daughter of Tom Hanks. That's the one right here, is posing at what she refers to as a mini road trip, she says, in 2019. And she's got something like I had in my Skoda Felicia when I was in Poland. There is, however, something else. They keep bringing me on the picture to this girl. That's E.A. Hanks, daughter of Tom Hanks. They keep bringing me from the first marriage. They keep bringing me on the picture to her, and I did not understand what the fuck went on at all. Whenever I was taken to the US, it was like a fucking racetrack. When I was in Poland, 2018, 2019, 2020, it was a fucking a race. Truly a race from one location to the other location, with my not even understanding what the fuck went on. Well, so that you know that I was in the US, and she cannot say no. I was delivered to her in 2019 in 2018. In 2018, she didn't have a time for me. In 2018, I supposed to have spent time with her. She was teasing me. But instead, I don't know who the lady was. I yet have to see her relatives and so on, but definitely was not her mom. Her mother-in-law, I should say. Excuse me, mother-in-law. I don't know how you say that in English. A new mom that her father married. I think that she had a sister from her biological mother. To understand this issue, we just need to go here. This is this pretty little daughter right there that you see. She's pretty. She's really pretty. She gained quite a few extra kilos, but she's pretty. She always will be pretty. She's got that facial features that always will be pretty. But here's the thing. Spouse, Rita Wilson, 1988. Samantha Louise, but he told me it's Luz or something like that. Was the first wife of Tom Hanks. That's her biological mom. Right there, you can see Elizabeth Ann Hanks posing right there, defiantly in the screen. Now, this mother of hers, based on what I recall, and it's nowhere listed, and I don't have a time to go over that stuff, she must have had sisters. She must have had, I have no idea who, because it was her aunt that she would take on the trip. And that trip with Elizabeth Ann, I don't know, it started in 2018 or 2019, I do not know for sure, but it lasted for about 6 months or so. Or maybe she had her 3 months with her. This is not her first trip here. This 2019. In 2019, she really had a road trip for at least 6 months, if not more than that. She takes trips. She took trips like this before already. And this was also the reason that she told me she's not going to take me. Now the year is 2019. I was delivered from Poland. She suggested me about my stay in the car. However, I stayed inside of the Skoda Felicia for the first time in my life. I did stuff like this, stuff that people were doing a lot during MK Ultra, is the stuff that you see right there. For the first time, however, I did was in 2020. So what we have here is a considerable amount of psychiatry, basically an attempt to confuse me on timing. She's posing right there in 2019, right? And the first time I said like this in the car was in 2020. So, well, that's not too good right there. I'm going to put it this way. I'm not a schizophrenic, I'm not bipolar, and I'm not paranoid. I'm much smarter than you are, all of you together. That's why I'm here. And talking about the stuff nobody dares to even think about. Her mom, and I was guilty in the eyes of Elizabeth Ann Hanks, deeply guilty. She accused me of killing her mom. Was driven insane, and you can trust me, she was a nut. I guarantee you that. She was a nut because she started to see things that did not exist. That's basically in me. They were definitely doing something to her. I'm not saying that she was born mentally ill, but regardless of your circumstances, if you are so poor that you see evil in somebody who is jerked up and tortured right in front of you, you're definitely not in the right state of mind. I personally disbelieve totally that her mom passed away in 2002. Totally. Because she was involved in a lot of trauma. She traumatized me. And actually, they were using her as an excuse to traumatize me. So that's the first thing that she accused me, her daughter, the one you see right there, of causing harm to her mom. I have to decline this and say no to that. I did not kill her mom. I might have even told people involved in it to get rid of her, and did so probably on a camera, video recorded, because this is how the wealthy people are doing this stuff when they no longer wanted to see either their spouses or there was a problem with whomever the problem that that person had, and they needed an excuse for a person whom they have removed from the picture. To throw a tantrum on me. A tantrum is a bad tantrum. That's basically, I was quite direct about it. I was accused of killing mom. Her mom, basically. And she was not the only one. She pointed a finger at me. Even Tom Hanks made indirect gestures in that direction, and other kids suggested, and so on. All through, the new wife, Rita Wilson, was very pleased with me because I liked her. She was a very sexy, beautiful girl, lady, I should say, when they got married in 1985. I definitely did voted for her. I also voted for Camilla. If this is comparable to Prince Charles, I do not know. I was accused of this kind of stuff. I was accused by Prince Harry of this kind of stuff. Exactly the stuff I'm talking about. That things were happening because of me. But I'm going to say to you something. I still disbelieve your mom was dead in 2002. People would do the stuff like this when they would go apart, when things did not work out. Same as in the case of Diane was this case here. If she had a lung cancer in the issues. There was all kinds of stuff that went on. I certainly didn't give her lung cancer. I'm not going to even exclude the possibility somebody else could have done it. I don't know. It could be done. And it's probably, I'm certain that it can be done. It's all kinds of stuff that can be done. If you get the person drugged up, and I was the person around whom people also could easily end drugged up. You know? Not that I would be doing this stuff, but the people that surrounded me, you're talking about the top people from the society, the elite. There was no way I possibly could influence this stuff. The only thing I can say to Elizabeth Ann is, I personally disbelieve that the mom was insane. However, your mom needed to get me killed because it's your parents, your Tom Hanks, your father Tom Hanks wanted to get me killed because it was people from London that wanted to get me killed. They were the one they were collecting this kind of curses on me, looking out there to find people that they would have capacity to blame me on, especially if somebody had a problem with a lung cancer and stuff like this, the chances exist is going to die away. They would do this as traumatic as possible and point the finger at me. This is just the way it is. That much fault I have. I suffered because of you. It was Milan Kucan personally, with Robert Golob, who rushed to California at invitation of Tom Hanks, CIA, British royals, due to what they claimed me, and this shit was very early. I don't know what the year was, 1982, something like that, whatever. Before they separated, a case of the schizophrenic in California, for me personally, because it was Milan Kucan and Robert Golob, because it was this communist in Slovenia that insisted that it's the kind of disease I have. As a matter of fact, I will have the problem with. Not yet at that time, but it is what I will have. Yes. This is how early they started to refer to me as a schizophrenic. That's how early Milan Kucan, Robert Golob. Dumped me on a plane. Voila, there was a Tom Hanks. And I might have been in a 6th or 5th class of the grade of the grammar school when Tom Hanks already presented your mom as a schizophrenic in the case. 6th grade I was. 6th grade, that means I was 6 plus 6, I was 12 in 1983. So he presented her as a schizophrenic. Now, the mom did have problems. She would lose temper, and she would lose temper already way earlier with me. Way before that, she would lose the temper with me. For which Tom Hanks suggested it was not my fault. It definitely was not my fault being tortured and so on. Tom Hanks was very, very friendly. He was like a soulmate. But I really do not appreciate that you threw on me something extremely disgusting that eventually was used as an excuse for later psychiatry against me. I must say that your mom was one of the first people that was used for the tantrum, karma, against me, against, for the sake of the Slovenian people, Eastern European communists, and others like Janez Janša, Igor Baučar, and all this Kacin and all this trash that supposedly was the opposition of Milan Kucan, Borut Pahor, Danilo Turk, and so on. They seemed to be even more eager. Either they were even more communist or they were even more eager to please their new owners or whatever the fuck it was. What they did was even worse because I was the one who advocated them. I was the one who presented alternative to a communism in Eastern Europe. And these people that supposedly sided with me did not express any kind of support, really. It was very lousy stuff. In fact, they did everything possible to get rid of me, maybe even worse than Kucan. Worse, definitely, because it was because of them that I couldn't get rid of this extermination procedure that they started to run against me when I was less than 1 year of age. So that's the first thing that we're going to clarify about who is what is on this picture. Because of your mom, eventually I end up inside of the psychiatric hospital in 2012. And my life was ruined because of people like your mom, or your father, or your family, or yourself, Elizabeth Ann Hanks. I don't know what have you seen in me, but the people who have seen in me stuff like this have made a good career for themselves. They make good money for it. I was rushed to California. Must have been 1982. To a very, very exclusive, in 1982 at least. So now I need to see something else. The 6th grade for sure. So this is a 1952 Samantha Samantha, let me just get, they don't have any kind of Wikipedia or... So this is just a quick video on the go. This is just to explain to you all you need to know about me and your mom, what pertains to you. And me and my mom, I mean her mom, I didn't speak about yet, about the mother of your mother, right? We didn't get there yet. That the lady with like a blondish hair, reddish hair, the mother of your mother. So the mother of Samantha Lewis, who was also involved in this case. She was involved in this case since I was a baby. The Hanks family and the parents of Samantha Lewis, they were all involved in this case. I all remember all of you. All this. Your grandma basically talking to Elizabeth Ann Hanks. I remember your grandma and your grandpa from your mother's side. I definitely did not browse the internet. I just saw this stuff. And I will not do that. Maybe if we ever meet in person, we can discuss these issues. So what I need to know is about this here. I did not even read about Tom Hanks or anything yet. Let me see this stuff here. 80. Yeah, I don't have a time to go over this stuff because there's so much stuff I have to do. So it's all kinds of stuff I do, but I have certain emergencies right now. That Hanks married American actress Samantha Lewis, 1952, 2002. In 1978. In 1978, let me think about this stuff. This is basically... It's about when I entered the first grade of the grammar school. And I remember all this stuff. Don't worry about that. So he divorced her in 1987. Okay, sixth grade. Sixth grade in my case. I was born in December 9/71. Now almost in 1972 we could say. At that time I was... When I entered the school, 78, that's basically I was 8 years old. 6. I think I was 6. So that means sixth grade, 76, 1978, 1984. In 1984, and you said that you divorced in 1987. 1984. Hold on a moment. 1984. Right, 1984. So that was 6 plus... in 1984, I was... 1984. She was diagnosed with the schizophrenia by Tom Hanks sometimes already in 1982. In 1982, he already diagnosed her with schizophrenia. Yeah, they might have got divorced in 1987, but in 1982, which is even in the 4th grade of the grammar school, you know who fucked with your mom? Milan Kučan did. Robert Golob did from Slovenia. It was the case. That kind of case. They started to look for the cases globally. Okay. Here I'm going to turn the camera on. They started to look for the cases globally. What kind of cases? The cases with which they diagnosed me I will have the disease as schizophrenia. So these elites, the Illuminatis, they would provide the leads of the people that were involved in MK Ultra case, that were a long time involved in MK Ultra case. It just happened so. Your darling, darling, as a husband of your mom, identified your mom as a schizophrenic in 1982. And the way this stuff went on, there was another individual in the picture. His name is Robert Golubic. This is this guy here, Robert Golubic. This is this man here. I did wrote about him. By the way, that's Robert Golob. That's Robert Golubic. That's Milan Kučan right there. This was this Slovenian team. And you had this Borut Pahor. This was the elite in Yugoslavia. We didn't have other people than these people here. You might say I'm crazy, but you need to open your brain. It's impossible to say I'm crazy, because in Yugoslavia, this used to be Yugoslavia, there was no Slovenia. Until 91, Slovenia did not exist anywhere. In a republic, it was just a republic, Slovenia. The elite, the only people allowed to exist on a political podium, were the people that you watch here. None other. If I wanted to lie to you, I couldn't. What I'm saying to you are facts. They smelled, it's interesting because they were connected to the British royals, and all the way to American top US government officials, US Congress people, White House, through the White House, actors in the Hollywood, using me to penetrate in every pore of American life. Now, interesting, isn't it interesting? But this is the only government we had. In a communism or so-called socialism, nobody else is allowed to exist. In capitalism, they even allow Communist Party to exist. But in a communism, no such thing as a capitalist party or opposition to the communism is allowed to exist. Did you know this? You're from America, you probably did not know about that stuff. And it might go likewise for the people in Germany, France, Belgium, and so on. In a communism, only a communist party exists. Everybody else is listed as an enemy. You can end up in the jail, killed, whatever. And it happened in Yugoslavia all the time under pretext of the communism. Yugoslavia was not really a communism, but it was ethnic cleansing for the sake of the Greater Serbia. And these guys that you watch right there, they were the one who did this stuff. And so, let's continue with this stuff. There is a picture of Robert Golubic. One is Golubic and the other one is Golob. Translated, Golob means pigeon. One is Pigeonovic and the other one is a pigeon. And Milan Kučan loved pigeons. So, a potential case of the schizophrenia appeared on a map in California. In the US, that was a mom from, I assume that this was in California, from you, Elizabeth Ann Hanks. They started to search desperately for something that would open when I was in the second grade of the grammar school. Therefore, even earlier, we're talking about 1980. So when I said 1982, it might have been even earlier that your mom was diagnosed with schizophrenia. But in 1980, these people here that you watch, they were literally throwing money on a table to find people involved in MK Ultra that would have anything to do with the schizophrenia. And your mom happened to be just the primary case. So what that tells me is they did something to your mom. Let me explain something to you a little bit more about this stuff, about this schizophrenia. Schizophrenia could be inherited, I suppose, and schizophrenia can be if the person is vain towards schizophrenia, of course, like everything else, it can be multiplied. This is what psychiatrist Peter Kapsch was certain, that there is a schizophrenia in me. And I was very, very certain there never was not even slightest little bit schizophrenia in me. And there was a good number of people who wanted to prove that they will in fact create schizophrenia, because they claim, this is what the psychiatrists claim, that schizophrenia is in every person. I am certain, however, with being 12 years subjected to MKUltra torture, that there is exactly zero schizophrenia in me. And there actually was always exactly zero schizophrenia in me. Yes, everything I did with the control of my brain, and this is what presented the biggest problem for these people involved in MKUltra, because they were sure, since I did some crazy stuff, what on the first side would appear as crazy. No, Israelis never believed that there was any mental illness in me. There was other people that did not believe, but you would not convince the people that did not believe that there was something wrong with me. Why? Because they were schizophrenics. Because they were certain that stuff they see in a person, if they just do enough torture, it will actually become a reality. I did spoke about the breach of Milan Kuchan, just 500 meters away, distant from our house. I did explain about that issue, right? So, your mom, and I don't even believe that she was a schizophrenic. I don't even believe that you need to be a schizophrenic to make you a schizophrenic. As a mental health expert as I am, from the background that I have, and I'm not certified psychiatrist, but I will explain to you that with introduction of the drugs, if I present you a drugs, I give you a drugs, either give you whatever fucking drugs I give you. Maybe I give you a coca, or I give you what else is out there? Marijuana they use. What else? They have this synthetic drugs. They have all kinds of shit that they give to the people, right? I will disrupt your mental process, your neurological part of your body, and will create certain irregularities. Therefore, also that will affect your thinking patterns, that will, if I will add extra to it, therefore if you are taking drugs or you are consuming the alcohol, and I will subject you to MKUltra, that's when the chances that I will develop a real mental illness, which I will preemptively start to cure with the psychiatric medications, which is going to even worsen. In my opinion, they worsen whatever symptoms the person might have, if those symptoms are not inherited. I will destroy you, I will kill you. Eventually I will prove that you do suffer from schizophrenia, even that schizophrenia doesn't really exist, and that I was the one just saying, as if I was like a third party, like psychiatrist, or if I acted in a role of psychiatrist certified, and police, and you came home from your work and I did dump you something for you to drink, consume, and you went to sleep to your darling, and you started to walk in asleep, interacting with the police, and they started to, teach you to take drugs, alcohol, whatever there might be, and all that kind of stuff. It will mix up you, fuck you up. I can do electroshocks on you, disrupt your thinking patterns process, and use that as a ground, as a base to expand the issue of schizophrenia through MKUltra. And will prove that you are a schizophrenic without actually having any real proofs about it. For proofs, which the only person will know is myself, this is how they do it. This is how it's done, folks. Your mom, in my opinion, Elizabeth Ann, was not a schizophrenic. In my opinion, she was made a bipolar. When they say bipolar, a schizophrenic, by the psychiatrists, by the police, by the people who subjected her to situations that made her upset. And there might be even certain drugs that might have used to worsen her condition, her upsetting. I don't know about the drugs, how they work, what kind of drugs they use, but these are basically the ABC of MK Ultra, how they destroy Q people. I've seen this stuff done. I have seen I told you about the kids that had mental problems, and probably, I don't even know whether they inherited. Uh, I have seen children observe them. Unlike probably even psychiatrists, I had ability to watch children being attacked by the children and managed to observe children being crumbled. Not talking about the school scores here, but talking about regular children that once they were faced off with a violence, with the gangs of the kids, like I had to face with throughout the grammar school, and gangs of the people I had to face with till 2020, they would psychologically break down like this at one point, and they would start to display mental problems. I would not call this what I stated right now as schizophrenia, paranoia, or bipolar or anything like this. I would just call this, because this is how it is, these are facts, some sort of mental problem that person is experiencing, and something inside is disrupted the thinking process, like you would have a temporary problem, just a temporary problem, right? Now, however, if I continue to load you with if I start to pressure you with your coping with the violence, with teachers that are abusive to you, or your coworkers, or with the environment, start to gang stalk you and do a lot of pressure on you, throw you out of the job, uh, use violence, that uh, crack point, let's say, that I suggested, that is just a temporary process, might actually expand. And what is the most amazing about my case is that I was the most abused man in this world, for governments to have absolutely nothing in hands. Something that Russians, Serbs could not accept is actually possible. And they had to witness all the way till being, what can I say, the fuck, destroyed by me. Literally thrown in front of the whole world and revealed about animals that they are, basically. This is just the way it is. So, this is what your mom was? I don't know what kind of stuff was given to her for her condition to worsen, but her condition started to deteriorate rapidly, sometimes in 1984, just as I suggested earlier. And it would just go more and more rapid with your mom involving her parents on the picture. That was a lady, reddish or blonde lady, that was a grandma, her grandma. And her family, I think that she had a sibling, so I don't know who those people were, or relatives, or whatever that was. And I was guilty for everything. And we already know how the hell that stuff went. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know who did to her. For me personally, your father Tom Hanks was like a strange guy, because I even deemed at one point in time I didn't deserve his affection. I was hated all over the place, and this is the impression they would give me, but this stuff they also do to give the wrong impression about maybe somebody else. Look, it's your father I see right there. He's posing in this picture here. Right? This is the picture when I was extremely, I even behaved idiotically here, this picture. I didn't feel I fit in the picture anymore. I felt like completely alienated. I felt like I don't fit in this picture no more. You know, this is already with the Rita Wilson and everything. I didn't want to be on a picture because I felt that I didn't deserve it. What year was this? I don't know. I had a feeling that this was like in 1988 or something like that. I don't know. Might have been later. Sorry about that. 2005, whatever, 2004. I felt I did not deserve to be on the picture no more. You know what I mean? Your father was very nice, very soft with me. Your father worried about you dearly. He was not happy with your writing career, as you know, as you remember. I remember that when you started that stuff. That he was horrified to the shit. Your determination did the writing career, for which you also claim that that has something to do with me. You were always in between, liking me, and on the other hand, actually even holding me liable for the death of your mom. And I really don't have anything to do with your mom. Whatever I said, under my circumstances, when a person say it's, or not only say, but also do. They were using me in Zagreb to fuck with the people. They were using me in Belgrade to fuck with the people. In Russia, in so many locations that all they wanted to do is they wanted to create that crack point. This is the power of suggestia. It's like you work with a magician, and he tells to you, oh, he does something like this and says, look, you see your nose, your nose, your nose, your nose, your nose. Look, and he's gonna say, stay still. He's gonna put you in a certain state of mind, without you're gonna say, well, what is it? You know, and you're not gonna even know what happened. Basically, they steal your mind. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. They have techniques I'm not familiarized with. I don't know about these magicians and stuff, hypnotists and stuff. Very little about that stuff, but there are ways to steal mind from people, right? So when they steal the mind from people, they create that entry that I mentioned. It's very similar to the neurological breakdown, you know, and then they take advantage of it. That's how they also raped a lot of women, beautiful women. They make them so insecure about themselves. They went for the biggest losers and so on. This is MK Ultra, baby. I am coming from a really, really rough world. I am coming from the world of vampires. And everything that you heard and everything that you have not heard but you can only imagine in your nightmare exists. This is where the fuck I am coming from. Welcome to my world. This is the people I dealt with. This was my world. My world was black. Pitch dark black. And in that darkness, that's all the fuck I had. Sense, brain to connect the dots so that I myself will not go insane. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about your mom. Your mom health deteriorated greatly about 2 years. So if the two divorced in 1987, right, that would be 2005. And then she took off. What made Tom Hanks extremely absurd, in 1985, your father Tom Hanks rejected me also. he started to blame me for the stuff that was happening to her. Even that, even I have gone even through that stage. I was on the picture no more. Your mom took off, disappeared. With you, obviously, to Sacramento is, I think, what this is written right there. I had no time to read anything about this yet. Okay, so um, the rest you know more than I do. Okay, your grandma found herself again on the picture. Once the two got separated, as you know, this was sometimes in 1990. This is what I became bitch, total bitch. I guess I needed to be killed then. And so I'm not surprised that your mom was gone of the picture in 2002. People are gone of the picture because if they have, especially if they have a disease, they don't want to be seen in the public life no more. It stresses them out. It puts the pressure on them to be chased around and asked and talk and so on, interview and so on. You know, there is people that are not resistant to that, and so they avoid publicity. As simple as this. And I think that's, quite frankly, was one of them was your mom. And quite frankly, I don't know anything about the death of Princess Diana. She was involved in this stuff, and I doubt that she passed away in an accident, in a car accident. I'm not a believer of that. This is your personal, you can even have idea about me, but I view myself from the perspective of what I described to you, experience that I have gone through with so many people claiming fake death certificates and similarities that all these people had and the interest that these people had by basically getting rid of me, the need to rationalize, to apologize, to justify from American point, from American perspective, from a greatest in the world democracy, the need to throw me, to dump me into the psychiatric hospital based on something that did not fucking exist, but as you Americans refer to as the karma in 2012, that's basically after 38 years of MK Ultra bestiality that you performed on me. If you're asking me, you're asking too much if you want me to accept that your mom passed away in 2002, that Princess Diana died in a car accident. You're asking too much. It's simple as this. And when it comes to the Princess Diana, they even use the French police to orchestrate me what would be like a fake death of Princess Diana, which was used as a follow-up. And I don't know, it might have been just used as a post-mortem investigation about what went on, but it could easily make on MK Ultra victim the false impression. The same stuff that went on the Balkans, where they had the war between Serbs, Bosnian, Croats, and they would go and they would, or in Košare, Kosovo, Serbia, and so on border, when they had the conflict, they would return back and they would do documentaries. All those Hollywood movies and documentaries, they would deliver me back to basically observe the stuff. In some cases, I was even involved in, when it came to Balkan wars, to distort their perception, to threaten with the psychiatry if you're going to talk about, you know, basically they had you on the camera and they can say you never really was in real time somewhere. Because when they deliver you during MK Ultra, also they record you on a camera. It's your word against their video recordings they make. You're talking about the British Royals, the biggest scammers, your Central Intelligence Agency in the fucking world. You're the most unreal people. Fake, with one word as I describe you, in the world. Faker than communists. Because communists don't allow second option. But you are like that you allow, right? Right? Thanks for watching this video. I ain't got nothing else to say. I would like to meet Elizabeth Ann Hanks. I am for a chat. She told me that she was making a trips at this location. They would deliver me at this location. She started to making these trips. That's also important for me to note. In 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and maybe even in 2020. I don't know. It's when she met me. Maybe she definitely met me in 2020 to make the impression on me. I don't like that picture of 2019 posing right there with it, because if I would say that you met me in 2019, I would be listed as a schizophrenic, you know. That was low. You're not the only one. All the British oils did that. All the everybody was doing this. You all try to undermine, many of you, with this kind of stuff, with posing with the false date pictures. At the same time, insisting me during MK Ultra, whenever I was delivered to you on the picture, asking me if I will remember this and that, and then you appear in the media and you expect me to go out there and say, I was there and so on. That's such a low stuff, so low stuff. So many of you did that kind of stuff. Low, low, low stuff. Elizabeth Ann Hanks liked me apparently, and she started to do these road trips. Sometimes when I was dumped into the psychiatric hospital in 2013, she started to do them. After I was dumped into the psychiatric hospital, she told me that she is commuting with her car, obviously from the home to I don't know where, and then back. It was like, it appeared to me like those were weekend drives, and this started to turn into road trips. So that's a nice car, whatever that is. I don't even know what it is. I was looking on the internet to find out what car it is. Maybe you can send me a message and tell me what car do you have. I know you were telling me about this stuff, but I didn't know Americans have cars like Fiat. Nowadays, obviously, you do have. It looks like a Fiat, like some kind of Fiat Doblo or something like that from the behind, whatever. I am out of the car fashion, so I don't know much about. So thanks for watching this video. So that was my ABC about your mom, what I know about your mom. I am not the one who did your mom. I was not interested. I have no interest in hurting your parents, whatever. But your parents did have different kind of intentions with me. If they wouldn't have all that chaotic stuff, all that stuff that went on, it wouldn't be like this. So that's all I gotta say for this video.